Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Slow Burn Pro Wrestling Podcast, where all professional wrestling storylines live. As always, I am your host, Matt Brandon, bringing you all professional wrestling's news, notes, innuendos, and whatever else in the world of professional wrestling that you can think of. And ladies and gentlemen, actually, let's just call it ladies. Happy Mother's Day. All right. Happy Mother's Day from the Slow Burn. Super great day. Hopefully all you ladies are getting ready to listen to the podcast, sit back, catch up on your week of professional wrestling and the huge night that was Backlash, right? So professional wrestling and mothers throughout. And by the way, a huge special shout out to our own mother in-house here, my beautiful wife, Lisa, mother of the year, mother of the universe. What are you going to say? It's all the same. And obviously my own mother. Mama, thank you very much for everything that you do and for all the lovely mothers in my life and your life and everybody's lives. Thank you so much for everything. This world would not be what it was without all you mommies out there. And you know, a little personal thing for me personally, and it's one of the things that I think it's so awesome that my wife attends so many of these shows with me and watches all the wrestling shows, talks about it with me like it's conversation. You know, I have to give a shout out that it's also something very special when your mother is part of this as well. And I know that I can say from my own son growing up how big it was to have uh, us involved as parents and just the cool thing. But I can honestly say from my own personal situation, my own personal history, that part of my love of wrestling actually will come from my mom. I know I credited a lot of this with my uncle from years ago, and like I've given that story around how my love of wrestling started. But I'll be honest, my mom used to take me to shows. Like she used to go to these big shows, whether it be a WWF show. My father was there too. I'm not discounting that, but there were nights where my dad had to work, and I wanted to go to these shows, and my mom took me to these shows, and that never goes unnoticed. So my mom always says I give her a hard time now because I said, well, there's wrestling on tonight. Make sure you turn it on. She always says I did my time. Always meaning that from when I was a kid, she had to sit through a lot of freaking matches in the dungy old Kiel auditorium in the freaking old barn of the St. Louis Arena. Like that. Anyway, thank you. So this is all your fault, basically, is what I'm saying. So happy Mother's Day to everybody out there, especially mine. At home and abroad, everyone else. And by the way, next year I'll be spending Mother's Day in St. Louis, and it'll all be better, right? So there we go, guys. So speaking of in St. Louis, St. Louis showed up and showed out, just like I knew was going to happen last night for Backlash. Fantastic show. I don't know. I got a really big old time throwback feel to it. It had the feels of a '90s pay-per-view. It really did. It was in your house is what it seemed like to me. Just the way the action went, the way the pacing of the matches went. I don't know. It just seemed it had some nostalgia for me. Speaking of which, we're gonna get another big nostalgia thing coming up with Saturday night's main event coming up at the end of this month. But yeah, Backlash really did. I felt that I was taken back in time. And again, I just want to say that the St. Louis crowd freaking give yourselves a round of applause because absolutely fantastic, just like you knew it would be. And even got the pre-show and even the post-show gives St. Louis a little credit for being such an amazing wrestling town. So awesome job from the people of the Lou. But let's get to Backlash because we got a lot to talk about, guys. I want to get to our week in review today with a little bit of extra time. So let's get into the nuts and bolts of Backlash from top to bottom. Like I said, great show. I'll go ahead and tell you, I scored this show an A-. I know that around the world of wrestling right now, it's not getting negative reviews. That's the one thing. I'm seeing very little negative come from last night's show. But for me, it was a little bit more than just your just okay show. The fact that the pacing of it went good. The entrances were a little long. Yeah, granted that. So it's not like you're watching one from 1997. But at the same time, I felt like the whole, I don't know, the regalia of all of it, the way the music was hitting, the way the lights were, the way the crowd was interacting. I don't know, it gave a late 90s feel to it. And I thought it was awesome. So we scored it an A-, and we started off, and by the way, as soon as I saw that this match was going to start off, I was like, holy shit, this could be a very, excuse me, a very interesting night as we start off with the U.S. Championship Fatal 4-Way between Jacob Fatu, Drew McIntyre, LA Knight, and Damian Priest. And again, you knew that this match was going to hit. You knew that this match was going to literally have a little bit of everything. I thought SmackDown the previous night on Friday night did a good job at stretching the story of this. But the match itself here was really, really good. Now the match is kind of what I expected. Again, I thought my picks were pretty solid last night. Actually, I only missed one. And, of course, what you're saying is I missed 1 out of 5. I don't give a damn. It's still pretty good. If I'm 4 out of 5 rest of the year out, I'll be the best damn professional wrestling prognosticator that exists, right? So, yeah, I thought it was a good start to the show. And I thought that all 4 guys really had an opportunity to showcase their skills. You had some dangerous dudes in this match and some guys that I'm sure not one of these guys could come out of this match being any weaker whatsoever because these are hard hitters. And again, Jacob Fatu's an animal. We know what we're getting out of him right now. He's probably the biggest star, not named Cody or friggin' CM Punk that exists. Like, why couldn't I come up with Phil Brooks there for a second? But I mean, right now Jacob is kind of untouchable in that realm as well. But man, Drew, I thought looked very, very strong. A good pull off from what he was doing the night before with the Claymore that he dropped on Jacob. I thought Priest looked very strong in this. He had a couple spots in this match. The Hurricane Rana that he threw early on in this match was really good. When you're seeing a guy 6'4", 6'5" guy doing that, it's impressive no matter what. So I thought he looked good. And to be honest with you, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I thought LA Knight was the worker of this match. Like, he really worked hard throughout. I thought the pace of the match stayed with LA Knight. Like, he kind of dictated how this whole thing ran. So really good job from top to bottom, all 4 guys. I thought that the Drew and Damian Priest stuff in the crowd was very good. Very realistic. I mean, really, you could tell these dudes don't like each other. So, overall, I thought this match really, really hit. If you look at my notes here, is I put Fatu as a star. I hope we get a Jacob Drew program. That's really what I hope. But what we got out of this was something that probably will contend for moment of the week this week as we get the introduction to the WWE Universe to Jeff Cobb. All right. We've known Jeff Cobb was coming. If you don't know who Jeff Cobb is, that was that freaking ball of muscle that took LA Knight out in the middle of that match. I would not have expected. Excuse me. It's a long, rainy, tired Mother's Day here, so you might get a lot more of that yawning coming up here. And you guys know when it comes to rainy days, it's a devil for the Brandon household. So anyway, regardless, yeah, Jeff Cobb, man, we knew he was coming, right? There's been the rumor he left New Japan. Like I said, if you don't know him, he's the ball of muscle that was there with Solo. He's had a great run in New Japan Pro Wrestling with the United Empire. Matter of fact, the United Empire stuff that he's done has been fantastic. Where he teamed with Will Ospreay. I mean, like, he teamed with Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher. So this is a dude that knows the big time. He's been at that highest echelon of professional wrestling as far as New Japan. So the bright lights aren't going to bother Jeff Cobb. That New Japan strong style that he's wrestling is going to be really great coming into the WWE with some of the modernized stuff that we're seeing there with physicality. But if you would have asked me going into this, Jeff Cobb is going to make his debut with Solo, I would have said, the fuck? No, that's not happening. But that's what we got. And again, Jeff Cobb, first off, he's not Samoan. He may have some Islander roots, I guess, but he's from New Zealand, if memory is served, or Australia, one or the other. But I believe it's New Zealand. So yeah, I'm not really sure how the Samoan dynasty does that, or maybe he's just a hired gun, something of that sort. But you could tell. See, there's that other yawn. You could tell that that Jacob wasn't ready for this. He was very stunned by this whole situation. So, are we getting a Jacob Jeff Cobb situation? Are we getting Jacob solo? Like, this story is going to be really good. I'm excited to see where it goes with it. The only thing I'm saying is, man, could we that a Drew Jacob Fatu program is going to be as good as anything you can give us right now in the whole federation. So, yeah, great start. Great start to the show. I would have hated to be the ladies that followed this, as we got the Intercontinental Belt match coming up after this. Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch. The man. This was my only miss of the night. I actually thought Becky would walk through this match. I actually would have almost thought it was going to be a squash. I really thought that they would make Becky come out looking extremely strong. We didn't get that. Matter of fact, we got kind of a crybaby heel in a lot of aspects of this match. But Lyra goes over, and in all honesty, it was pretty good. Like, the match itself had some hits and it had some misses. Lyra's ring gear, by the way, with the feathery stuff on the arm ring gear, I don't. If you're my age and you're a boy and you watched He-Man, you'll know exactly. But didn't that have like some sorceress vibes to it from He-Man? You know what I'm talking about? Up on the peak, and I don't know, the winged arms just kind of worked for me with that. It had a very He-Man sorceress vibe. Just, again, just my personal opinion. Just throwing it out there. But the match was good. I think we might have actually had a couple real injuries in this match too. I heard Becky got banged up after the fact, and talk is that Lyra may have really actually broken her nose throughout this. How apropos would that be? Becky Lynch breaks someone's nose accidentally in a ring. It's almost like it was destined to be. I don't know if that's real or not. It's just some of the stuff that you're hearing after the fact. I'll tell you, I haven't read a ton this afternoon because we've been trying to do the Mother's Day thing and go from there. But overall, I thought this match was good. I will say that it's not over. And that's something you can say with confidence. Um, Becky and Lyra, you can tell, have wrestled a lot of times. You can tell they practiced a lot together. You can tell they roll well together, and their transitions are really crisp and really clean. So yeah, this not being over is good, and maybe we can breathe some fire into this Intercontinental Belt, the women's Intercontinental Belt, because honestly, it hasn't been the run that I was envisioning. And I was super excited for this. Matter of fact, I thought that Chelsea's run, albeit underwhelming with the U.S. title over on SmackDown, has been much better than Lyra's IC belt run. But again, it's all subjective. It's all an opinion here nor there. So, yeah, Lyra goes over. She retains her belt. That was my only miss of the night. And it brings me to one of my favorite hits of the night, and that's Dirty Dominic Mysterio versus Penta and Stu. Intercontinental Champion Dominic Mysterio. First off, I want to say this, all right? Dominic is over. Face it, face it, face it. I know there are some of you out there that have resisted this. You have fought the idea of Dominic Mysterio and his rise to greatness. To me, it's the perfect thing. When you have truly hit your peak as a heel professional wrestler, you transition to a babyface. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now with a Dominic Mysterio. 6 months ago, no one in this whole joint was getting booed like Dominic Mysterio. And then in the last few weeks, those boos have started to turn into cheers, and they're starting to understand the character. And now Dominic Mysterio is just as far reaching as he's ever been. So, well done. Dom and Penta, by the way, these two dudes, they're very good together. This will probably be the last time we see them match up for a bit. But so good, and can't wait to see these guys hook up again over time. With that said, too, Penta is such an electric performer. He has the crowd eating out of his hand from the second he comes out with the entrance to his interaction that he does with fans. The way he seeks out the children that are along the aisle, and the way he gives attention to with his Cero Miedo and stuff that he does coming down, like, it's awesome. And my words that I put down here was electric. I mean, he's electric. He's doing very little wrong right now, and his momentum has stayed very strong since he's came in. Had such a great entrance, and then it's really stayed consistent. So they're not going to be able to avoid getting a belt on him for too much longer. The question is at whose cost? That's the real question, because I don't think it can be Dom at this point. I just really don't. But then, what is it? Are we adding another belt? I think that waters down the belts. I don't know, but there's going to be something undeniable that's going to happen to Penta down the road, probably sooner rather than later. But regardless, I mean, Dom is over. Dom is getting cheers. I mean, when you're getting the da, dirty, dirty Dom, dirty, dirty Dom, when you're getting that, that's the Cody Rhodes, the Roman Reigns. Think about who is getting that European style chant right now since we've came back from Europe over there, right? You got Cody Rhodes getting it, you got Roman Reigns getting it, in AEW, you got Tony Storm getting it, all right? Three biggest performers that are going in professional wrestling right now, arguably, right? Now you got Dominic Mysterio getting that exact same chant and that exact same treatment. Again, folks, he's over. You might not like it, you might not want to hear it, but he's over, and he was fantastic in this match. We had a little judgment blunder again, as now this one, and I said this the other night. You could tell that there was a mishap with Finn, and I said I think Finn got caught on purpose, and that's why the Judgment Day ends up getting kicked out. Well, after watching last night on Backlash, it's undeniable now to me for sure. Finn definitely got caught on purpose. He stalled so he could get caught by the referee, and then he gets kicked out. Now, what we end up getting from that is this great, awesome news. He has a real chance at being Rookie of the Year, but El Grande Americano comes down. He gets a little involved, and obviously he's got some specific stuff going right now with Penta. We know they have some history right now, Penta and Americano. I wonder if maybe they've crossed paths in the past down in Mexico or some sort of that in the annals of lucha libre. But like, he comes in, Americano gets in a little bit involved. I don't think it was a match costing thing by any means. It just seemed like a headbutt to me. I don't know, but regardless, Dom goes over. Dom gets the pin. Here's the thing I want to say. Now, again, this is not me being the booker. This is not me being the mark or whatever. I want to say that Dom is doing more and more offense in each match that he's in recently because he's growing, because he's getting better. Every time Dominic Mysterio steps in the ring, he gets better. So, super, super awesome job. It was fantastic to see Dom go over. It was fantastic to see Americano get involved. You know, again, Chad Gable's a very good friend. And Gable, not any part on this pay-per-view, but yet Backlash, we have an Americano sighting. So, I don't know. At some point, Gable's probably got a question creative here. You know, why haven't they have anything for him? They got something for the new guy. So we'll see what happens with it. But regardless, I thought the piece was good. I thought Dirty Dom was good. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot control what's happening to Dirty Dom. It's completely organic. It's completely organic. And I love when someone that you really, really hate, I love it when they get over, because the next thing you know is you marks are freaking cheering them too, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And Dom just sits back and counts money. All right, beautiful. Speaking of beautiful, Gunther said no one ever probably. We got the Gunther Pat McAfee match, and I have been against this match, and it has not had anything to do with the fact that I have an issue with McAfee. I love McAfee. I have a Pat McAfee shirt. I'm a huge Pat Mac fan. Um, you know, not every one of his takes are great, but I appreciate his wrestling fandom too, and that's something that I think is extremely important. But I had an issue with McAfee and Gunther in this match. I thought it was a slap in Gunther's face, a guy that's been doing great work for you. Um, it was a great match. I mean, what do you say? It was a great match. McAfee can wrestle. He's not going to wow you with a bunch of skill sets. That he's not going to come out and lucha you to death. He's not going to chain wrestle you or transition wrestle you to death. He's going to hit hard. He's going to give you great facials throughout. He sells like a damn champ. It was a good match. It really was. McAfee got pretty salty. Like I said, the early part of the match, Gunther's trying to humiliate him, and I liked that piece. That was a great part of the story. As McAfee gets his feet under him a little bit as the match goes on, more and more confidence. The story continues to grow, but you almost still got the feeling that throughout Gunther could end that at any point in time. But yet, the guy's fighting from the bottom. McAfee continues to grind, scratch, claw, and until it got to the point to where maybe you thought he had a chance at this until he didn't, and then he gets choked out. I do want to say I love the Michael Cole involvement from this story, or for this match. I thought it made the story that much better. Michael Cole getting involved in holding Gunther's foot down while making the pin. That's one thing, but then Gunther's reaction as he sets up and kind of looks over at Cole like, "What in the hell are you doing?" Like, it just that was a smooth piece for me. But the whole match actually ended up working. Uh, the respect that happens after the match was good. Gunther doesn't shake his hand, so he can still kind of stay heel, but he gives him the old pretty good. And I just thought the whole piece worked. Now, the real question here is, does the respect sign that he give McAfee afterwards, does that push Gunther into more of a babyface role moving forward? I don't know. I think that maybe it can, because think about this. You always have to have that great heel on Raw, right? Raw has to have the great heel. Well, right now, your great heel that you're working so hard on is obviously Seth Rollins and the Paul Heyman crew. The future is what I'm calling them, right? So I think that the time might be right for a Gunther transition. But here again, let the transition be organic. Don't force feed it down me. Don't have him come out next week and shake everybody's hand and start respecting everybody automatically. Let this happen over time and let the crowd decide when the time is right. That's how you do it. And honestly, Gunther's so damn good at the craft. He's the perfect guy to allow that to happen. I mean, it makes sense to me. So, the whole thing worked. And then we got to the main event. And then the whole thing worked. Like, this main event was so good. I know the match, it wasn't going to wow you. You're not seeing Will Ospreay type spots. You weren't seeing Ricochet type spots. You weren't seeing the freaking meaty power that you're going to get with some of these bigger guys like the Priest and the Drew McIntyres. But what you got was two of the greatest professional wrestlers that have ever done it, doing something that they have done with each other for 25 years. And it looked like they had just had multiple matches last week on the house show circuit. Like, it was that good. The false finishes. Now, if you're going to call out one single thing in this match that worked outside of John Cena's heel reactions, John Cena's heel freaking facials and reactions right now they're otherworldly. They're that good, right? But the false finishes in this match were so fire. Like, from beginning to end, you never knew. I mean, how many times did Cena do the AA to Randy? It seemed like at least 10, right? And yet I also felt like there were at least 12 freaking RKOs handed out. We had guys going through tables. We had guys hitting off the stairs into the post. Like, literally masher move after masher move. Yet at some point, anybody could win this, and I just totally teased with our emotions and had so many great false finishes. I don't know. I was on the edge of my seat. I really was. I didn't know exactly. They got to a point that, and I said this yesterday, I said, there's no damn way in the world that Randy Orton's winning this match. Cena wins, hands down. It's not even close. And, man, we got 10 minutes into that match, and I started thinking, holy shit, we're going to break the WWE curse, and Orton's going to win this title in his hometown. And then I come back down to reality, right? Now, I want to say one thing. The only thing I wish I would have gotten out of this match was maybe some more familiar ties, like show me Cowboy Bob Orton and show me Randy's family, his wife and kids in the stands, because you basically said you're going to erase the Orton name from wrestling, right? So I would have liked to have maybe seen that little interaction, but other than that, that's completely nitpicking. That's how good I thought this match was. I thought that the match really didn't miss. It didn't have any misses, and it just goes to show. I saw a post of mine, good friend of mine, Josh Fields, the head booker of Next Level Championship Wrestling, and I saw his post that says sometimes less is more. And I thought that was exactly right. Sometimes the simple stuff can play off. And when you had two guys that are absolute masters of their craft in Cena and Orton, like, the whole thing, it was perfect. Well done. The match was well done. The whole show was well done, from the the pre-show to the post-show. Speaking of the post-show, by the way, R-Truth got involved in the match. I didn't mention that, coming down and helped out his childhood hero. And then afterwards, I thought Cena was going to break character, by the way, too. But afterwards, in the press conference, Truth comes out and he's talking, and he gets AA'd right through the table, and that was the end of the night. And I thought that was the perfect ending to a really good throwback, old school nostalgia night. So awesome job, great show. Can't wait to see what happens on Raw tomorrow night, guys. Monday night, post Mother's Day Raw. It's going to be really good. But let's not also forget tonight we got LFG as we get set for the LFG tournament, getting ready to break down to see who's going to advance and who's going to hang out, or who's going to get taken home. So that brings us to our slow burn week in review. Okay, and we have had a week. I'm still dealing with the kidney stone stuff, guys. You can probably still kind of see it in my face a little bit. It's not still not too pleasant, but it's been a hell of a week. So our week in review awards this week for the slow burn, they're kind of all encompassing. We had a little bit of everything. First off, let's just stay with fresh in our minds, right? Our show of the week this week, I gave it to last night's Backlash. You probably knew that was going to happen. You probably did. Our runner-up this week was Monday Night Raw with Dynamite right there on its heel as well. But I thought Backlash was the show of the week. And I don't know. I came out of Backlash last night feeling really good. It was just the whole thing kind of worked. As I said, less is more sometimes. Simple sometimes can win out. So let's go. Our moment of the week. Well, I give my runner-up moment of the week this week to Jeff Cobb's appearance. Anytime you got a big appearance or a big return is pretty big. The Alexa Bliss return was right there too on SmackDown. But honestly, my moment of the week was the Paul Heyman meltdown on Raw. Excuse me. I thought the Paul Heyman meltdown was so good. So much emotion, gave us a little bit of everything that we needed. So awesome job. Speaking of Paul Heyman, promo of the week this week, Paul Heyman on Raw. You knew that was going to happen. You knew that the Paul Heyman on Raw was going to win out here. I thought that the runner-up to that was Toni Storm on Collision, the balcony promo that she gave. I thought it just, I don't know, the ambience of that, the camera work of that, it just really was good. So Heyman wins promo of the week, followed very closely by Toni Storm. You could also throw Cena's SmackDown promo in there too, but not as high quality to me as Heyman and Toni Storm. And then, guys, our match of the week. It was tough for me. I had a hard time with match of the week this week. We threw in, I had the Okada going over Kevin Knight match from Dynamite. It was so good. It was so great. The NXT 25-man Battle Royal was a fantastic match. Big up to Sean Legacy, my man. But I gave our runner-up this week of Io Sky over Roxanne Perez on Raw. I thought that match had a little bit of everything. The ladies left it all out there. And Roxanne Perez showing time and time again, like, why she is as good as what she is. And then my match of the week, that was our runner-up, but our match of the week, we go with Cena over Orton from Backlash, guys. It just literally had anything that I wanted. And I don't know why. It took me back in time. It might well have been freaking 2007. And those dudes were going at it. And I was taking a 7-year-old son of mine, and it would have been a beautiful thing. So yeah, that's it. Let's go again. Show of the week this week was Backlash. Our moment of the week was the Paul Heyman meltdown from Raw. Speaking of Heyman, he was our promo of the week on his Raw promo. And our match of the week this week from Backlash was John Cena over Randy Orton. So hell of a week this week from the Slow Burn. Glad that I could bring it all to you. I know we've had some hiccups here and there, and I know we're going to have some more moving forward as we make some modifications to the show as I get ready to pack all this stuff up in the next couple days. So, but we will still be around. I'll still be giving you your wrestling news, notes, and innuendos because that's what I like to do, guys. So thank you for joining us, as always, here on the Slow Burn Pro Wrestling Podcast, where all professional wrestling storylines live. And folks, in this world, remember, we're wrestling everything. Stay on top.